How do this check? Get away to get the gear. Right, head out. Dodge, you're starting to make drill. Check, lifeline. Okay, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Get Annie. Yes, Annie. Jules, big. Good luck. Left. Yeah, put it back. Put it back.
Good. Now go towards your box. Go towards your box. Hey, let's step on it. Hey, they can't make it across the field and shoot past it. They can't get across the field and shoot past it. That's not the strategy. Hey, hold on, stop right there. Right? Patrick Carlin was talking about the other day. There's no reason to touch that ball. All it did was have a touch. Right? So you have to speed and just fall for that ball. Right? And you have to be smart to let her take it. Right? That's
college girls give so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey, they hate and you can't miss what you never had. Hey, off the juice, got me tripping. Cut the coupe, walker roof is missing. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Boys got some 60s in my bag. Lips sealed like pillow talking on no rag. In my earlobe got 2 carats, VVS. Got a penthouse near Rodeo off of stairs. All this money when I grew up I had nothing. Filled with backstabbing, my whole life is disgusting. Can't believe it, gotta thank God that I'm living comfortably. Getting checks I don't believe, but she say she done with me. Burn some bridges and I let the fire light the way. Kicking my feet up, left the PJs on a PJ. Yeah, I'm a big dog and I walk around with no leash. I got water on me, yeah, everything on Fiji. Zero, suicide door, brand new bag. College girls give it in my ride. Rockstar life, so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey, they hate and you can't miss what you never had. Hey, off the juice, got me tripping. Cut the coupe, walker roof is missing. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. I'm a star, pack up doors, tipping walls, hey. Oh, finish dogs, balls, hey. I was 15, I said, hey, with my dog, hey. Not feel nauseous. Put up a stick and I hop on a plane, still in my wall, wait. This so risky, I gotta be gifted. He blessed me with fortune and fame. I remember from 50, I couldn't go back empty. I knew I was stuck to the game. Loyal and I never change. I'm never gonna go against the grain. Never gonna be the one turn on my brother when police just gotta detain. I won't ever love it. What am I mother? That's all
Hey, Southern Ram fans, welcome to the third broadcast of Southern News Network and Southern Sports Broadcast 2020-2021 sports campaign. Joining us tonight is Caitlin Hartkoff, who is the four-year coach of the Lady Rams soccer program. And Caitlin, you've put together a really impressive record in your first 4 seasons. But this, by no stretch, has got to be your most challenging season because of the number of senior veterans you graduated last year. It's challenging enough to build a core team up again, but under the restrictions of the preseason restrictions and practice restrictions has to be particularly challenging for you.
It is. Due to COVID and just the pandemic and restrictions put in for the state in protocols of safely coming back, we had less preparation time, but we're hopeful to make the most of this season, especially for the 2 seniors that we have honored tonight. We're looking forward to just putting ourselves on the map and competing like we have in the past. And Southern on the map.
For what it's worth, Caitlin, in my observations, and thank you for letting me sit in on practice yesterday, I was really impressed. You wouldn't know that the girls came out of the gate stumbling by their practice effort, by their spirit, by their enthusiasm, by their willingness to. One of the things you talked about pre-practice was challenging each other, making it hard on each other, because that's the only way you're going to get better. And they certainly approach their practice that way. So that's I think a credit to this young team trying to build.
Yeah, definitely. They push each other. We are in a development year. We have a lot of underclassmen, and we're looking forward to see what they do this season and in future seasons. And the only way to get better is by pushing each other every single day. Yeah,
no doubt. And they've bought into that, and I commend you for picking that as one of the rallying cries for that team. Now, the million-dollar question tonight is senior co-captain Ashley Alton suffered a toe turf injury in first period of the first game. That can be a season-ending injury. I know that she was being evaluated tonight. What's the results of that evaluation?
So far, we're good to go, at least for warm-ups. We're going to see how she feels, but we're hoping to put her on the field tonight, make the most of her senior night, and reevaluate going forward.
Well, I hope for her sake she has at least an opportunity to try. I noticed her last season, and as we did several broadcasts of your team, and you couldn't not notice her. I ended up calling her a heat-seeking missile because she anticipates the play so well and closes in on the ball so well. That's got to be a necessary ingredient and then a missing ingredient when you don't have her for the last couple of games.
Definitely big shoes to fill for some of the underclassmen that have had to rotate into that spot, but they've done a great job of, being competitive, improving every game, and regardless if she's on the field tonight, I know that we're going to put on a show for everybody.
Cool. Now, the unusual part one of the many unusual parts about this new season is the back-to-back approach. You play a team twice consecutive. So you just came off a disappointing 1-goal loss to Brick Memorial. They have a stud, I know, that's a playmaker and a dominant player. What's the matchup keys tonight, and what are we going to do differently tonight to be successful?
They're definitely a great team that loves to play soccer, and we're going out with matching up, stud against stud. We have talent, we have experience, and we're just going to put it all out there, put it online.
Cool. Well, I wish you all the luck tonight. Tonight's the night where you're going to turn around the misfortunes and turn it into fortune on senior night.
Absolutely.
And I have every bit of confidence after watching yesterday's practice that you're going to do that. So thanks for spending this time with me. I know the girls need you back there at the huddle, so I will take the mic in just a second. But joining me in the broadcast booth for his first time in the broadcast booth is Bob Shoka, who's the athletic director at the middle school. He's a special services director. He wears many hats here at Southern, and tonight he's going to join me in the broadcast booth. He was also a member of that team that set all kinds of records back in the day one of the records was just broken 2 nights ago by Kevin Kiernan, the Matt Comasco record. So, Mr. Shoka, Bob Shoka, thanks for joining me. I'm going to hand the broadcast off to you for the few seconds it takes me to get up in the broadcast booth. And thanks again, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you again. As Mr. Henry said, welcome you to the Southern Regional Girls Soccer Varsity Senior Night. Southern Regional opening up the season 0-3. 3 tough losses. First game at Jackson Memorial, lost a 4-0 game. After that, came back with a strong performance at home against Jackson, lost 2-1 in overtime, and then had a tough loss 2 nights ago to Brick Memorial, again 2-1. But every game that we're watching and seeing, we're seeing progress. As Coach had said, that this is a young, developing team. And again, every game that we've watched so far, there's been significant progress, and we're expecting some good things tonight.
Hey, Bob, and one of the things I'm really impressed with is after the spanking that happened in that first Jackson game, came back, pushed them into overtime, a one-goal game that pushed them into overtime. I think that in itself is an indicator that this team is not far from finding its rhythm and finding its pace. But that first one's hard to get until you get that monkey off your back. You just got to do what you got to do and suck it up now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, coming out losing 4-0 to a tough team, but then coming back, against Jackson in a game that they were so close to winning, 10 minutes left, up 1-0, and gave up a tough goal, and then lost in overtime, and then like I said 2 nights ago, you played well, lost 2-1, but again, you're seeing development, you're seeing a lot of progress. And you mentioned it in the pregame interview. Part of the problem, and I think all teams are facing this, is just the lack of practice time and game time. And you're starting to see that with some of these younger players, that they're starting to mesh a little better.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously evident with this young team. Young team in the sense of there wasn't as much varsity experience as most of our other fall sports have had thus far in terms of returning letter winners. And nonetheless, there is talent out there. It goes without saying, and you're going to see that in just a few minutes. So there's deep enough talent. It's just a matter, what they were working on yesterday was trusting each other, pushing each other, but then trying to start to read the other line mate and what they're going to do on the little give and goes.
Yeah, and that's stuff that comes in time.
Yeah.
And that's, again, the lack of practice time and the lack of, or the reality of the fact that we've got a lot of young kids, that are still developing and playing together. So
the upside of that is they're going to be together for whatever this season becomes, and then it's predominantly a junior class with some key sophomore and a freshman in that mix. So the program's in great shape long term. We just got to get this season on track.
Yeah.
But I do believe, listening to the girls talking at practice yesterday and their focus on detail and paying attention to the different teaching points that Coach Harkoff was providing, I think it's just a matter of time. And there's the talent's impressive.
It is, and they got a couple kids that can score. And I think, being a soccer player, playing hockey, I think a lot of that stuff comes in bunches at times. You put 1 or 2 in the net, and I think there's going to be a lot more after that. I mean, they got 3 specific, Gianna Simon up top, and 2 outside midfielders in Brickell and Haley that can definitely put the ball in the net, and amongst other players as well. But I mean, I think it's gonna come, and it's gonna come in bunches. Hopefully it's tonight, but we'll see.
Yeah, and certainly the girls deserve it tonight after coming out of the gate close to win. First one again, it was a convincing win for Jackson, but then coming out with 2 one-goal losses. Indicates that they're knocking on the door, and I hope for their sake it's tonight. They certainly no more deserving than these 2 seniors, Brickell Klein and Ashley Altman. What great individuals they are. That was so humbling for me to spend time with them, interviewing them yesterday during their practice, and just listening to their positive perspective. And quite frankly, they're feeling the weight of this. This being the slow start that the season says, they're feeling responsible as seniors that we've got to lead this team out of here.
Right.
And that they have identified, different girls need different approaches. Some girls, they're not hanging their head, but they get upset. So they're trying to play their senior game, their senior role as a senior by being a cheerleader to some, being a taskmaster with others. But they're struggling with a shortened practice approach to develop chemistry, the things that they've done in previous years when they were underclassmen, get-togethers and go to the beach, can't do.
Yeah.
So they can't even develop that camaraderie at the same rate that the previous teams when they were underclassmen developed.
It makes it difficult, and what from watching last year and then being a part of the practice and talking to Coach. First off, Brickell and Ashley, not only are they great kids, but they're great soccer players.
Right.
And they're leaders, and they play the game a little differently, both of them, but they are great players. And you had mentioned in the pregame interview, not having Ashley in the middle for those last 2 games hurt them. There's no doubt about it, and I think it'll help having her back, and hopefully she's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, when I look at the breakdown of the scoring opportunities in those last 2 one-point games, I look in the rear view, what really would have happened. But with Ashley out there and the way I watched her be disruptive from the midi position last year, like I said when I was talking to Coach, I couldn't get my eyes off her because she was a heat-seeking missile. And her anticipation of the play, I thought, was very noticeable.
She's one of those players. She uses her body very well, shields the ball, is always in the right spot, and makes things happen. So not having her in the middle to distribute has been an issue. And then Brickell on the outside, she's so quick, and the way she plays the game and has an ability to cut the ball back that typically works on most defenders. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching both of them play tonight.
Well, this is we've been talking about the seniors, but this is a good time to go over the lineup, anticipated starting lineup, and then some of the key role players who will be, taking the field as needed to give some of the starters a break. So in the pipes, we have goalie Leah Marin. She's a sophomore. The defensive core, I would think, is one of the strengths of the team so far, is this defensive back line. From top to bottom on the right side is Abby Gallagher, wearing number 22, and she's a junior. Inside of her is number 21, Shay Cassidy. She's a junior. On the left side, inside, is Riley Shoka, number 17, and she's also a junior. And then Sarah Boyd is in the back line, outside, left side, and she's wearing number 25, and she's a sophomore. So you can see right there, we haven't, it's all underclassmen on the defensive core with two sophomores in the mix, one in the pipes and one on the outside edge. In the middies, now I'm not sure, based on the determination of Ashley, we know she's going to get in the game tonight, and she would be heartbroken if she didn't. This is a very important night for senior night for her, but not sure if she's starting tonight. But Altman wears number 2. She's a senior. The rest of the midi core that we anticipate seeing tonight, on the right top edge is Jenna Castaldo. She is a sophomore, wearing number 4. Melanie Lockwood, boy, is that a legacy name in the soccer family here at Southern. Her dad, Guy, is the men's coach. Her both sisters were prominent players. The one who graduated last year and the other who graduated 2 years ago. So the Lockwood lineage is well served, with Melanie wearing number 3, who is a junior. And then last year's freshman phenom, Gianna Simon, is wearing number 9. Now she's no longer a freshman phenom. She's still a phenom. She is a 10th grader. And then up top on the attack, we have speed merchant Haley Hochstrasser, who is a junior. She's wearing jersey number 1. Angie Prizer, who is a junior, wearing jersey number 14. And the other senior works on the left side of the offense, and that is number 11, Brokel Klein, also known as Brooke Klein. So that's our 2 seniors. Ashley, questionable whether she starts, and then Brokel Klein is one of our attackers who has already scored and has an assist this season. Simon has already made her mark scoring and with assists. So the known scorers are scoring. It's just tonight, like you said, Bob, like in hockey, which is a game that we both enjoy, those droughts usually end in bunches. All of a sudden, people find the net, and they usually find the net in bunches. So it would be great for these girls if it happened tonight. Now, at this point, I think we're getting ready to go to senior. I heard the broadcaster, the voice of the Southern Rams, Mr. John Kazuba, but are you ready to announce the senior night? Okay, 2 minutes to senior night, so that gives us an opportunity to talk a little more about the roster. I mentioned who the anticipated starters are. Some of the depth players that will be coming off the bench the coach anticipates to be getting a lot of playing time are wearing number 30, Gracie Cordasco, who is a junior, wearing number 8, Kara Kaczynski, who is a junior and a freshman. And whenever you get a freshman opportunity to get varsity experience, that pays a ton of dividends over the course of the next several years. And that is number 18, Maddie Byrne, a 9th grader. So that's who we anticipate seeing. What I was impressed about yesterday, Bob, as I said, though, doesn't matter who they were, role players or starters, there was an unyielding commitment and a practice ethic and a practice approach. You would never know the girls were 0-3, or you would say they're 0-3, but they're not going to be 0-3 for long because they were just dialed in. Yeah,
the effort's there. Again, it's just a matter of finishing and making some smart plays, I think, at this point. I mean, this Brick Memorial team's pretty good. They got some. They like to move the ball in the back, and then they have 1 or 2 girls up top that have some speed, and they look to play those girls in space. So it's going to be interesting to watch that as well today.
And one of you've seen them play. I haven't, and that's a disadvantage this season there's not as much time to scout teams. There's not as much stats out there yet that somebody in our role, the broadcasting, can access to prepare for. But what I know from listening to Coach talk about them is that they're a core who has been playing together for several years, because their give-and-go passes and their anticipation on the breakers going down the edge were, obviously points that made a difference in that first game.
Yeah.
But they are also points that, to me, suggest that it's a team that's been playing together. They're not. Our girls are finding themselves and discovering each other. They're there already, and they're capitalizing on that.
It's an accurate assessment by the coach. They definitely move the ball, and they look to play the ball outside or play the ball wide to their forwards. So.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coburg Memorial Field, the Ron Emmer, Coburg Memorial Stadium at Ron Emmer Field for tonight's varsity girls soccer match between the Brick Memorial Mustangs and your Southern Regional Rams.
Now, ladies and
before we begin tonight, we'd like to take this opportunity
John Kazuba, the voice of the Rams broadcaster,
honor our seniors,
you could
the class of 2021.
Maybe hold your mic over there for him. But if not, we'll just hope that you can hear it, because he's going to be honoring our two seniors.
Our first senior, number 2, Ashley Altman.
They can hear. He's got a feed. Okay.
Ashley has played soccer for 13 years and has been a varsity participant for the last 3. She currently has 2 career goals and 2 career assists. She's being escorted by her parents, Tom and Lisa, and her brother, Zach. At Southern, she participates in soccer, basketball, and the Interact Club. She plans to continue her education in either Florida or California.
What's up? Ashley
would like to give special thanks to her family, friends, and coaches for always supporting her and helping her become the person she is today. Number 2, Ashley Altman.
What a great family, and I'm so happy for them that she's in uniform tonight.
Yeah.
She was almost on the edge of tears yesterday when she was contemplating not being able to dress tonight.
It's got to be tough not playing.
Number 11, Brooke Klein. Brooke has played soccer for 13 years and has been a 4-year varsity participant. Today she has 19 career goals and 7 assists.
Athlete here at Southern. I'll never forget that.
Brooke is being escorted by her parents, Leanne and Jeff, and brothers Jake and Cole. Brooke participates in Southern soccer and track as well as the Interact Club. She plans to continue her education at the University of California, California, Florida. I see a trend here. Brooke would like to thank her parents, coaches, and teammates for making these the best 4 years of playing soccer. She's also grateful for the memories made along the way. Number 11, Raquel Klein.
The gene pool, all
Clearly,
evidence with Raquel.
Yeah.
And she is so quiet and humble, and
awesome kid.
Yeah, doesn't want the attention on her, but has earned all of the accolades that have been bestowed upon her. She's also a great surfer, and the surf team is trying to get her to come out and join them in meets when it fits with her soccer schedule. Yeah. And the other one that they're trying to get, and I hope the family's watching, Emily Irwin, you got to get out there and paddle out. They need your points for the big surf meets. And not to put any pressure on you, Emily and Raquel, but surf team would love to have you out there.
That's awesome.
All right, there they are. Ashley, Raquel, number 2, number 11.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your hats as we honor America and our men and women fighting for our freedom both here at home and around the world by the playing of our national anthem.
go, Rams sports fans. The national
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lines for tonight's game. First for Green Memorial Mustangs.
Listen, I'm going to check the balls to...
Number 1, Madison Souza. Number 7, Katie Burnett. Number 8, Carly Knight. Number 10, Danielle Rock. Number 11, Olivia Carney. Number 12, Kate Giuliano. Number 16, Dusty Carrillo. Number 18, Mia Crusoe. Number 19, Izzy Hernandez. Number 20, Mackenzie Fanning. Number 28, Emily Delmeda. Head coach for the Mustangs is Billy Crusoe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your Southern Regional Rams. Number 2, Ashley Altman. Number 11, Raquel Klein. Number 1, Haley Hotstresser. Number 3, Melanie Lockwood. Number 17, Riley Shoka. Number 21, Sheila Cassidy. Number 22, Abigail Gallagher. Number 4, Jake Castaldo. Number 9, Gianna Simon. Number 25, Sarah Boyd. And the goalkeeper is Leah Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, as is NJSIA rules, we ask you to please wear your face mask while out in the stadium, all spectators. Also, we'll hear the social distancing at all times. Thank you.
All right, so there you hear the voice of the Rams, Mr. John Kazuba, who's also the teacher of the sports broadcasting program, introduce our seniors. In those introductions, Ashley was introduced as a starter. So, way to go, Ashley. Rooting for you.
Well, in any game, the first goal is big, right?
Oh, yeah. First goal is big, and then goes without saying, I think Southern really needs that.
When you're lacking a little confidence, I think the first 5-10 minutes of the game, a goal would be nice.
And not to prepare for shortcoming, but no matter what the game ends up in a score, it's a win for both teams that were out here competing. There was everybody convinced the season would never start. Then everybody believed that once school opened, we wouldn't be able to sustain any positive traction and that the things would be shut down, either school and or sports. And neither of those negative outcomes have occurred. So by virtue of just the girls being out here tonight, be able to compete is a win. We wanted the scoreboard to reflect the same win, but we're so grateful for the families to be able to be here and to attend. There are some programs that are not allowing any participants, and that would be taking away an awful lot from kids who have already lost an awful lot in the spring, and now, this fall we're trying to give it all back.
It's well said. I mean, there was a time up until the beginning of the school year that I didn't think this was going to happen, and like you said, thankfully, here we are.
Yeah. The first broadcast we did was last Friday night, the convincing win of the football team over Brick, and I felt like it was in a dream. I couldn't believe it was actually happening. I kept waiting for that last minute for somebody to say, shut her down. Yeah. But, kudos to everybody. Kudos to the NJSIAA for having put forth good and reasonable guidelines. Kudos for our athletes for, tapping into the access that we provided them, to the parents who had, rightfully so, concerns, can we do this safely, and trusted us to do it, and we've done it. I'm so proud to be able to say there's been no inter-organizational transmissions, and so the preventive measures that we have in place to this point are effective, and all have added up to, here they are, their senior night, 11 starters out there ready to compete and pick up their first win.
Yep.
All right, we got Brick still in the huddle. Now we got Southern in black. They're going to go from your right to left, and we have Brick in their white and green trim, and they're going to go from your left to right. Weather-wise, we have an absolutely calm evening. The wind is not going to be a factor. The flag is hanging flat. and the game is underway. Brick has maintained possession. The Southern's applying good pressure, contesting. Here's an example of knowing each other and where to be for Brick Memorial. That was Shoka chasing it down, and it's off a.
So you called it, actually. I mean, the way Brick Memorial plays the game in terms of possession, moving the ball, and then looking to play either out wide or up top to their forwards, and you'll see it all night.
Yeah, and I could tell, and just in that first possession, that sometimes you got to go backwards to go forward. They go back, then they go to the edge, and then they cross it.
And looking for the open player.
Yep. Well, Coach was working on that with us yesterday, both on the offensive side of executing that way, and also challenging defensively, knowing that that's what's going to happen. And this, is something that you completely understand in your hockey career. You can't watch the puck, or you can't watch the ball.
Yeah.
You gotta.
You're done if you don't.
You're done if you do. So you really have to.
It's about containing, not letting someone get around you.
And knowing where the players are breaking to.
Exactly.
Which is what they were working on yesterday. So here's Southern's first entry into their offensive zone. There's Lockwood challenging, pushed it back by Brick Memorial. They take possession again.
This is what they like to do here. They're going to look to give a run to number 20. Do that all night.
That was a nice combination by Cassidy and Shoka there. Cassidy closed. Shoka knew she was closing and yielded to the middle.
I think on some level it helps you played this team 2 nights ago. You know what to expect right now.
And that's what when talking to Captain Altman and Brickell Klein, they both had said the same thing. Now we've seen them, now we know, and we can beat them.
Yeah, watching last game 2 nights ago, you could tell they were not ready. They came out not ready for what Brick was bringing, and then as they adjusted, they played a lot better, and that's when they settled in. So I think we're in for a much better outcome.
Nice play by number 11, Brickell Klein. Well, you can see the precision and anticipation in their passing. Be a throw in Brick Memorial.
Now, it's my understanding Brick Memorial comes into this game 2-1. I think they played Central 2 times. I think split that, and then obviously beat us 2 nights ago. So they come in with a 2-1 record.
Well, reviewing their lineup, anticipated roster with a coach, they're not rebuilding as to the depth that we are. They've got a lot of returning players.
Yep.
But talking to Coach yesterday, she said, looking at the scores around the league, even the teams she's aware of, the scores are all over the place. So the scoring is indicative of the chaos of a startup of a season.
The lack of ability to prepare.
Yeah. So, and there's plenty of season left. So there's nothing that within this ladies' team start that they can't strongly recover from.
That's true.
That was Shoka breaking up a scoring opportunity, clearing the ball out. This reminds me of how Monday 2 nights ago's game, Tuesday night's men's game started with a lot of possession, but a patient defense by the men's Rand team. Let them play around in the box for a little while,
counter.
And then they countered. Yeah. They countered quick.
Think about the Southern roster when you got Gianna Simon up top, but then you got, or I'm not sure where she's playing right now. She looks like she's in the midfield, but you got Brickell and Haley on the outside with all that speed. When you counter like that, you get a lot of good opportunities.
Right. And that's exactly what the men's team did. They were patient down here, and then they countered with speed, and of course that speed was led by Kevin Kiernan, who broke the record. It was a 31-year record held by Matt Comasco, that Kiernan, with a hat trick plus one, scored 4 goals and was
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that later. Right now, let's focus on Altman. Closed in nicely. Played that well. And here we go. Hochstrasser down the edge. Raquel Klein break into the middle. I'll be throwing Southern. Quarter. All right, Bob, you're going to have to carry the load here because I'm getting a message from the booth that maybe my pack isn't working. So you're on, Bob.
Southern Regional with a corner kick. Nice serve into the box. Raquel with the ball, plays it out side to side, Boyd.
All right, I've made the director has given me some technical direction, so I've followed that. So hopefully I'm back on the air. If I'm not, Mr. Shoka is definitely prepared to carry the load. Uh-oh, could be numbers coming down. It's Shoka. Rest of the Rams are catching up. And now it seems like the 2 scoring opportunities so far. Brick has trying to, I call it that lazy pop fly, trying to go for a bar down.
Yeah, they have 1 or 2 forwards up top that they like to serve the ball into space, and both of those forwards are quick. So that's hard to adjust to and adapt to them. But they're going to probably do that all night.
Nice job, Haley. We got Ashley. And a score!
Nice goal by Haley Hochstrasser.
I'm sorry for you in the viewing audience. I had such a good time doing that in the boys game with Kevin Kieran, one of his scores. It's the old European or Latin American approach to broadcasting. I know it's probably annoying, but I have a ton of fun doing it.
Well, the one thing, aside from your fun, we talked about this early on about being patient in the back and then countering, and that's exactly what happened there. They made some nice offensive play. Not even sure who did that.
That was Hochstrasser, I think, to Ashley Alton, wasn't it?
I think Hochstrasser got the goal.
Oh, Hochstrasser got the goal.
So I'm
okay.
not sure who broke it up in the defensive end, but it's what we talked about. It's about countering, and making a smart play.
And what did we just say? Getting that first goal, breaking a drought, and getting the goal. Well done, ladies. Let's keep it going. Foot to the throttle.
Just like with hockey, soccer, same thing. The next couple minutes after a goal are big.
They're huge because you let down. Sometimes the scoring team lets down. They give up a score right away. All the positive energy is deflated.
Exactly. So next couple minutes are big here for Southern.
And on the other hand, if you can score again quickly, that's a head-hanging moment for the opponent. So it's always the next goal after a score that's very important. But I like it's exactly what we talked about from the men's game. Patience in the defensive zone, position, set up, trust, and then break out and counter in a hurry.
Yeah, and that type of thought process when you're playing a team that's probably a little more skilled. I think that's how you have to play the game.
Well, you can, again, we'll keep equating it to hockey because you were a soccer player, a member of that conference division championship team, but most recently the focus is on hockey and how deflating it is to spend all kinds of time for a team in the offensive zone, get nothing to show for it score-wise, and then give up a quickie on the other side. It's deflating.
It's an emotional letdown. You know, when you're dominating a game or having most of the chances, and now here you are down 1-0.
There's Shoka. Nice little touch pass out to Gallagher. Abby Gallagher.
Trying to play Haley out.
That was just there, again, shows the coach's understanding of things to work on and then execution. That what we just saw there, Gallagher, that little punch pass, was exactly what they were working on yesterday. That was apparently lacking in that first Brooklyn Memorial game. There's Shoka closing in on the ball. Shea Cassidy backs her up. That's a great shot. I hope the camera has that. That's three really close friends: Lockwood, Cassidy, and Shoka. And that's got to be. That's nice to see that. Yeah, because I think they've been playing together since they were peanuts
for a long time.
And there they are, in one triangle.
Juniors.
Yeah, where did the time go, huh? And don't get me started because it's emotional.
Yep. I'm with you on that.
That's Sarah Boyd with the ball. Shoka back to Boyd. All right, so the ladies are still exhibiting patience in the defensive zone. Boyd comes out and heads it, tries to clear it, but Memorial takes possession. Memorial goes back to go forward. Nicely broken up by Shoka. And that goes off a Brook Memorial player.
Again, we talked about the adjustments, and you see it here the first 15, 20 minutes of this game where defensively, I feel like they're playing a little smarter than they did, especially early on Tuesday. Probably knowing what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Well, they might not have had the practice time to congeal, but you also look at academically, this is a very intellectually gifted team. I mean, they represent the top of all their classes academically in a GP. Oh, there's an Altman, nice little touch. She had somebody breaking in space. Who was that?
Haley or Gianna, one of the two.
That's Gianna.
All right. Very smart with the ball.
That was Jenna Castaldo putting the ball deep. Their goalie takes possession. Gallagher up the right edge. Broken up by Memorial. It'll be a throw in Gallagher.
Gianna with a shot wide.
Scoring opportunity. Well, this is encouraging. The patience that they're displaying defensively, they haven't had as much offensive zone time as Memorial has, but they've taken full advantage of the times they've had with quality shots. And we don't have a stat person up here, but I think we're advantages on shots there with
I would
Southern.
say so. And even the games we lost, we've had our opportunities. We just weren't finishing. So it's nice to get an early goal, and like we talked about in the pregame stuff, goals can come in bunches.
Altman, you were talking about how well she uses her body. Look, that was the perfect example of that, wasn't it?
Very skilled at doing that, shielding the ball.
And watching her gait closely, I don't see. I mean, she's got to be feeling that injury,
she's hurting.
But you're not seeing it. All right, here's a race to the ball. Is that Shoka? Shoka outruns the Brick Memorial kid, who they get to throw in. And nicely played, defended by Shoka, who now gets the throw in. Now that's what Coach was working on them not doing yesterday, just a blind, up the wall.
Losing possession in the defensive third.
That was Cristala.
Yeah, we haven't talked too much about her, but she's a sophomore and a very solid player, and very good both offensively and defensively.
Well, the good news is, as much as there's growing pains for this group because of the lack of varsity experience, the future's bright when you have a Jenna Castaldo and a Leah Marin and Gianna, yeah. But the future's now. We gotta turn that into right now, which looks like they are. There's Lockwood. Opportunity. Gianna. Altman breaking. Gianna nicely down the edge. I can't see who that is that's breaking. That's Haley Hochstrasser. Altman's posted up in the middle. And Brookel Klein's patiently waiting on the backside. And a turnover of possession will result with a Brick Memorial throw-in.
Handball.
Uh-oh, breaking opportunity with nicely played. Gallagher held her own, but Leah Marin comes out and makes a nice save. Well, that was a legit threat scoring opportunity.
Yeah, and again, that's what they like to do, with their forwards. And we haven't talked too much about Leah. Leah's, the first 3 games has played extremely strong, in each game.
So I think I know what the answer is to this question, but for all these players to get to this level, they're all having to commit off-season to the club approach. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate with the women's sports?
I would say the majority of these players out here are playing club soccer now. High school club soccer, at this point, typically they're not playing on the club team right now. I think right after the high school season is done is when their club soccer typically resumes, give or take some teams. And obviously, just with everything that's gone on with COVID, things are thrown off a little bit, but that's typically the way it works.
Oh, there's a head ball from a corner kick. Brick Memorial knocks it at 1. Good play by Brick Memorial. Corner kick, well placed. To a Brick Memorial player who was in the box and headed the ball for the score. So we don't. The time is being kept on the field. Altman comes out.
So Gracie Cardasco has entered the game up top.
Coach is talking to Altman. High fives her team down the bench. Kudos to her. I know she's got to be in extreme discomfort with that turf toe. The injury doesn't sound like what it is. Turf toe. What could a turf toe be? But it is extremely excruciating, and you can't do anything without your feet, especially in this game. And the toe, any flexion or extension of that part of the foot is extremely painful.
That's why you give her credit for
being there. And she's wearing an orthopedic device which is restricting her motion. And even here comes another scoring opportunity for Brick Memorial. Even the device itself, I'm sure, is causing discomfort, notwithstanding the injury. So back to the club approach, Bob.
Yeah.
So, but at least this is a sport where the club shut down for the high school season, so they're compatible and complementary. is that now the trend is that some of the club sports are continuing through the high school season and forcing players to make choices on what they're going to do, or if you try to do both, overdoing the body.
Yeah, and again, there's exceptions to that, and I'm sure maybe some of the higher level teams are still, working and training for tournaments, but typically, it's shut down until November.
So we have an unofficial clock up here. How much time is on that clock, Mr. Kazuba? So we're unofficially just under 20 minutes in the first half. Yeah, so a lot of viewing audience might not recognize the commitment it's taking for athletes at this caliber to even get on the field or make it to the bench. It's not just what it used to be back in the day. You just go to a meeting and show up and try out and the best and fastest play. I mean, this is a year-round commitment almost.
Most of these girls are playing, like you said, year-round, no doubt about it.
So we're knotted at 1. Since we scored our first goal, they scored and have had a couple threatening scoring opportunities. There's Simon on the ball. Cordasco, who replaced Altman, chasing it down. Back in the middle, Memorial maintains possession. There's a scoring opportunity. Well, the crowd's not as robust as Tuesday night's men's game was, but there is still a nice crowd here, and that's a heartwarming for the women's team to have this kind of support base. A lot of their fellow athletes are out here. The herd is here. And that means a lot to all the athletes who support one another.
And clearly for the two seniors, too, obviously, to get this kind of crowd.
There's Klein. Now, Bob, how many multi-sport athletes are on this field right now? How many of these girls are playing beyond high school soccer, club soccer, are playing second and third seasons?
I mean, there's definitely multiple track people out here. There's no doubt. I mean, there's some other sports, as well. I mean, there's a lot of these girls playing right now are playing multiple sports. I don't know the exact number, but it just shows that most of these kids are athletes.
Yeah, well, and I mention that because that's a trademark of the Southern athletic brand now, is the coaches really cooperate and share athletes and understand the importance of the athletes being multi-sport athletes, because competition is invaluable, and just preparing to compete isn't as important as competing. And if you've learned how to compete on a soccer field and translate that to a basketball court and then translate that to a lacrosse field, your competition IQ is going to be significantly enhanced. And our coaching staff, under the leadership of Coach Donahue Jr., the athletic director, and a member of the football staff, have really embraced that in sharing the athletes.
Like you said, it's almost like the expectation, that these kids are going to be involved in more than one sport. And that's why we're so good at what we do.
Yeah, I mean, last year we were on pace, and I don't know that we're going to be able to keep pace with that. Last year we had 9 division championships under our belts through the win. I think it was even more than that, but a 9 I can recall off the top of my head between the first 2 seasons. And then the third season that got cut short, we had 2 under our belts, and we were expecting up to 4 more divisional championships. And there's schools that don't have that, and 5 years,
Right.
10 years.
And like you said, a lot of those kids probably were on a couple of those teams, right? I mean, they're playing multiple sports.
Yeah, a bunch of our athletes were division championships in 2 and 3 seasons.
Yeah.
But again, the importance is that the coaches are sharing the athletes and encouraging the athletes to go multi. Look at Gracie Kadaska, for example, playing soccer. She's also a women wrestler. Yeah. And a very good one at that.
Right. You can go down the line. Hallie Hoxrosser with track. You got a ton of them.
All right, Southern had a scoring opportunity there. Their goalie was equal to it. Again, being limited with how many people can be in the booth, we don't have a stat keeper to be able to keep stats so we can reflect directly or correctly on how many shots, how many attempts, and so forth. But Eric Shokad weaving through 2, 3 girls, pushes it, tries to get it to Kadaska, backed up by, it's Hochstrass? No. Okay. One of the things I say at all these broadcasts, Bob, is that we need to get the athletic director to buy shirts with bigger numbers on them, because these old eyes of mine aren't necessarily picking up the numbers as clearly as I should be. But in previous seasons, it didn't matter because I would get to know the players. You didn't have to look at a number because you would, by being at practice and being at games, you get to know the players. But this year, not having access to film and as many games as I have in the past, I'm relying on numbers that I can't see.
So you're saying it's your age?
Yeah, I think, the problem with the issue with all my problems is the date on the birth certificate.
Kadasko.
There's Kadasko.
Nice ball.
Here comes Gallagher from the defensive court up the right wall. And a score! Brickell Klein. Good for you, Brickell. Gallagher made the play up the wall, pushed it inside. I didn't see who. There was somebody in the box that then.
Either Gracie or I couldn't tell exactly, but it was well played and a nice goal for a senior on senior.
Yeah, good for you, Brickell. And look at Ashley on the bench, cheering her on.
That's awesome.
Good for both you seniors. Way to go.
Well, after being outplayed the last 5-10 minutes, Southern has picked up the pace, and here we are with a 2-1 lead.
And you're right. They were, you're reluctant to be lopsided in your commentating, but they were outplayed. They were outplayed, outright outplayed. But they came back. Gallagher took control, went up the wall, pushed it to the middle. Yeah. Klein finished.
Sarah.
Here comes another opportunity.
Ellie.
That was Simon.
Ellie again.
That's Hochstrasse. Yeah.
That should be a foul.
Everybody but the guys who think it should be a foul. We should be biased. These are our kids. This is our school. This is our carpet, and I've guarded against that. I've tried to in season 1 of the broadcasts, and then I took a complaint phone call from a parent of another school. I'm not going to mention the school, that I wasn't being fair to both teams in my assessment of the play. And I said the last time I looked at my paycheck, it said Southern Regional on it. So thank you for your comments. And so
there's another good ball.
And here comes Haley again up the wall. Outruns her opponent.
I think we win a quarter here now. Maybe not. Yep. Corner kick.
Now, I got here a little later than normal. The SNN crew was already set up. Our director tonight is Louis DeVito. He's one of my favorite broadcast partners. And you're replacing him, Mr. Shoka, so thank you for stepping in at the last minute. It was 11 o'clock that you agreed to come in, but that was because Louis got tapped out to be the director tonight. So
So I'm the substitute.
You're the substitute. You're the rebound. You're the rebound date. I asked Lewis to the prom, and I ended up with you. But
I'm not sure if that was a compliment.
it was because when I found out that Lewis was getting pulled into the booth, I got spooked because this is fun to do with two, but to be by yourself on a solo, that's a little daunting. And I'm so grateful because you being a soccer guy and part of that 89, I call them the Legion of Boom. That was Doherty, Camasco, and Lockwood, along with others. And you were a defenseman on that team or midfielder?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the first team that put Southern soccer on the map. And so you know this game, and you know our athletes, and being part of the developmental program at the middle school. Nobody would be better suited to be up here with me than you. But
the reality is I'm the third guy.
The reality is you were my second prom date.
I accept that.
But we're still going to dance. I'll still go home with you. We're still going to leave the prom together.
Again, I'm not sure if it's a compliment.
But Lewis, in the director's booth, because I got here a little later than normal, if you could text me the names of all the camera people and the production crew. Oh, never mind. I got Mr. Kazuba said he's already got that for us because this is a great team that we have here on the SNN sports broadcast. And while we talk, our trainer Nick Scaramuza is jogging down the field, going to be attending to a Brick Memorial player who's limping. I didn't see what was happening. I was too busy having adolescent juvenile fun with my prom date analogy, so I missed the action. But there's a temporary timeout while Nick Scaramuza, and that's an opportunity to talk about the coaching staff here and the training staff. So Coach Caitlin Hartwick is in her fourth year. With her all 4 years has been Ryan Fredrickson, and he coaches the goalies. And joining her as a volunteer and then coming on as a full-time staff member is Nicole Iorio, and they really make up a great leadership team. Talking to the seniors about the coaching staff, they just adore these coaches and love their approach and so respect the openness of these coaches. There's a scoring opportunity, the openness of these coaches and the ability to interact, and whenever there's not a grievance, but whenever there's something that needs to be addressed, the coaches sit down with the leadership team and things get addressed. So kudos to the coaching staff and what a great job they do. And then anchoring them is Nick Scaramuza, who's the athletic trainer, who was attended to the Brick Memorial player, but is such an unappreciated asset as far as getting injured players directed to the right medical physician and then re-entering players with a safety protocol. He's been an unsung hero of the athletic program, Nick Scaramuza. All right, we got Brick Memorial's back in their offensive half of the field.
Yeah, back to you were mentioning the coaching staff, and the one thing I'll say as a parent to a kid that's playing.
Oh, you got a kid on this team? Oh, that's Shokin. Isn't that number 17? What number did you wear, by the way?
Number 5.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
but just to speak to the entire coaching staff, the one thing that I've learned from my daughter is how much the coaching staff does care about the kids and how much they do like playing for them. So I mean, it's you mention it, and I'm firsthand proof of it. Just hearing about all the stuff. Well, off the field.
Yeah, and those are the intangibles that you sometimes don't even think about as a spectator. But we both in our athletic careers, both as players, as coaches, and as parents, know that one of the biggest bombshells of a season can be a coach, and how a certain coach's approach can just really diminish the experience.
Yeah, you just used the word I was going to say, experience, and that's what for these guys, these girls, that's what it is, and it's a positive experience, and that's the most important thing. Obviously, you want to win, but the experience and the fun that they have going through it is so important.
All right, here's Cordasco. Nice little play there. And what's that whistle?
Foul. Took a push on Brick Memorial.
Yeah, finally they got one right.
Again, I think we're a little biased.
little biased.
But they did get that one right. And a bunch wrong before that.
What I have to keep reminding myself is that the degree to which this broadcast network has become embraced by the community. Because last year, with me and Lewis, or me and Justin, or me and Aaron, just thinking we're having a good time with nobody paying attention. Now we're really realizing what the viewership is, and it's like, somebody's paying attention. So it puts the pressure on. I try not to focus too much on that, but you do have to understand this isn't just you and me up here having fun. Although isn't this tremendously fun?
I'm just the fill-in guy, so this could be my last time.
I hope not, because you're doing a great job, and this is a lot of fun. Especially because our relationship goes back to the gym rat days, and there's
high school.
There's a lot of history here, and
that's awesome.
That's one of the things. That's why we hire Southern Hirons our own back, because there's too much history that walks out the door at each graduation.
It's an awesome thing when you think of it. How many Southern grads are actually working here now?
At all levels of the organization, maintenance, custodial, instructional staff, support staff, transportation staff. But again, here's the theory: a tremendous experience walks out the gate at graduation. If we can get that back here, that's half. The culture's known, and then that person comes back in with a positive experience, and then from that provides even a greater positive experience to the students that they impact.
The culture on this campus is what.
Okay, and we have Jenna Costalla just checks out of the game, and it's hard to believe the way she plays that she's only a sophomore. If you didn't point that out to me, I would not have ever guessed that's
she's
a sophomore.
Solid player, smart, does all the things right.
I watched her at practice yesterday. She's also very dialed in. Like I say, there was no sophomore in her. I thought she was an upperclassman.
And with many of these kids, the other part is she's an awesome kid. Just a great personality, positive.
Well, that goes. I saw that yesterday with this team, that you would have never known with the practice I was watching that they were a winless team, because the positivity and the fact that they were all such nice and supporting each other players. You wouldn't know who the starters were versus who the not so many minute players were.
Stuff by Shaq.
Scoring opportunity. And that's what we talked about before. They're trying to hit that early on, that lazy pop fly, as I call it. That's hard for a goalie to go sky high and get that.
Number 20 on White is a forward that they like to play in space, and that's one of their key players, and that's what they're trying to do.
Now, maybe you've had, the benefit of dinner table ear sniping. Are they marking her? Is there any special strategy? Anybody marking up with her?
I mean, I think you have to. I mean, I know,
Well, it looks like right now, Riley, number 17, Riley Shoka, is marking her.
You have to.
Oh, okay.
She's number 20 is a good player.
Well, so is number 17. So my 90's on 17. If that's the important matchup, I'm betting on 17. Right, there's another example. Go backwards to go forward. Back pass, open space, out to the edge. Gallagher closes.
Trying to hit 20 down the line.
And now it's Cassidy's marking her, right? Do you, in this sport, do you ever not play sides, just play you go with number 20 wherever you go?
That's a coach's decision.
Do you do that though? I mean,
they can, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice hustle by is that Hochstrasser? No, Sarah Boyd.
I don't think that went in. Maybe it did.
Another thing that coach is really emphasizing.
That's a foul.
Yeah. The other thing that the coach was really emphasizing yesterday, talking to the girls in between practice drills, was the importance of communication, of trusting each other, pushing each other, but you have to communicate. And that's why I opened the window, because I wanted to hear, is that happening? And I do hear. They are chirping to each other.
Yeah, and that goes back to what we said earlier on, the lack of playing together. And I think every time you play, you're going to continue to get better with that stuff. That's the end of the first half.
All right, the end of the first half is 2-1 now. Bob, I'm going to go down on the field, and while I'm making my way down there to interview Coach Chuck Donahue Jr., I'm going to ask you to carry the broadcast. It's going to take me a couple of seconds to get my packs back on here. Yeah, so I'm getting my packs, my portable packs, back on my belt here, and Mr. Shoka is going to sum up the first half while I get down to the field to have some time with Coach Donahue Jr. So it's all yours, Mr. Shoka.
All right, so here we are, 2-1, halftime Southern Regional lead. As we talked about, Southern opened up with a goal approximately 10 minutes into the game. I think it was Haley Hochstrasser with the first goal. Brick Memorial countered 10 minutes later to tie the game, and then after that, a really nice goal by Brookell to again give Southern Regional a 2-1 halftime lead. Southern is definitely playing a lot better than they have in terms of against this team the last time they played, which was on Tuesday, and it looks like they've adjusted to the matchup. Each player has come out and done a nice job, and it looks like our coaches have made a real positive adjustment to shut down some of the better players. So, again, a 2-1 Southern Regional lead. And we're going to turn it over to Mr. Henry in a minute, who will be interviewing Mr. Donahue. All right, so he'll be interviewed in another minute or two.
All right, we're at halftime of the women's senior night soccer game. Southern's got a 2-1 lead. They made some adjustments. They were incredible adjustments, and so they're talking behind us about how they're going to preserve this 2-1 lead to bring home victory number 1. But joining me now is the leader of the athletic program, Coach Donahue Jr., who is also the athletic director and works with the football program and is the main reason all of our athletic programs have become as successful as they have. So thank you for joining me at halftime here, Coach. And I want to talk to you about the challenges of ramping up and preparing for this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did have some challenges. I mean, everyone's had challenges with the pandemic right now, but you know what? We had great support from our Board of Education, our upper administration, to allow us to have the summer programs, the summer camps, and the summer strength and conditioning program, which has really helped us, I think, propel us to the start that we've had overall as an athletic program. You know, I think that was crucial that we had it, that the way we did it, and I think that is contributes a lot to our success. You know, and it's kind of funny. We talked about the same thing last year with our fall teams, and winning 5 division titles last fall, and talked about how the summer strength and conditioning program really, jump boarded us, and, it was a jump board for us to that success. So we're hoping for the same thing this fall.
Yeah, and this year we put together an in-season weight training program for our in-season athletes that's done during their physical education class.
Yep.
So we're always looking for ways to provide the athletes the opportunity to not just be academically superior, which they are, but to be athletically superior, which they are. So that leads us to this season. It was the season we never thought was going to happen up to Friday night a week ago. You and I were here at 6:30 wondering, is this really going to happen? Yeah. And it did. And now we've had really continued great expected success. So summarize our fall season. We're missing 2 sports, gymnastics and women's volleyball. They're pushed to another season. Yeah. But the rest of our season is starting off as advertised. Why don't you overview that?
Yeah, so, we have our outdoor fall sports going. Right now, field hockey is 4-0. Our boys soccer program is 3-0. And they are ahead at halftime tonight up at Brick Memorial, 3-0. We have our boys and girls cross-country teams are both 1-0. Our football team started the year with a big win over Brick Township on Friday night, so they're 1-0. Girls tennis beat Brick Township yesterday. They have Brick Township again on Friday. So looking for them to get another win, and girls soccer has been battling. They've really been battling. So hopefully they get it tonight.
Winless is not indicative of this team. They got a jolt on the opening game against Jackson. Jackson strong, and Jackson was returning off player. They take Jackson in game 2 to overtime and lose a 1-goal in overtime, and then they lose to these girls a heartbreaking 1-goal game. They're knocking on the door.
Absolutely.
And so the winless does not indicate what this team is going to become.
No, and I think that's a great point. What is delayed does not mean it's denied. You know what I mean? And they'll keep working and keep growing under this coaching staff, and looking forward to seeing what happens.
And it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Always.
So, and with these girls, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to finish on a roll. So,
absolutely.
All right, well, the halftime huddle is over. The whistle just blew, so I'm going to head back to the broadcast booth. Thank you again, Coach Donahue, for joining me. And Bob Shoka, I'm going to pass it up to you until I get back up there. Thanks, Coach.
All right, nice interview there with our athletic director, Mr. Donahue Jr., who, as Mr. Henry has talked about, has done a nice job, and Southern clearly has developed not just our fall teams, but all of our teams into winning programs. So, that's a tribute to the leadership of our athletic director. So, back to this game, as we talked about, the game's about to start. 2-1 Southern Regional lead. Southern looking for their first win against a 2-1 Brick Memorial team, a team of which, again, they played on Tuesday night and lost 2-1 too. So, in my opinion, the Southern has adapted and adjusted very well to a team that is pretty good, and they've made the proper adjustments and deserved this 2-1 halftime lead. So. We'll see what the second half brings us, but again, in terms of the first half, I really feel good about how they played and how they've adjusted to the style that they play. So,
and that would be a good time, I think, to recognize our broadcast team, because at the end of the show, when we typically do it. Okay, back on the air, up in the broadcast booth. Thank you, Mr. Shoka, for carrying the broadcast while I got back up here. I want to thank again Coach Donahue for his leadership and taking the time out at halftime to spend a few minutes for the viewing audience to hear how great all the teams are doing again at Southern. Now's also a good time to recognize our broadcast team. We usually do this at the end of the game, but sometimes the end of the game gets pretty busy. So right now I'd like to give shout out to our director, who I've already talked about, Louis DeVito, who is usually my broadcast partner. On camera is Xander Rosier and Dylan Data. The field camera is Emily Rainier, who I'm proud to say will be my broadcast partner on Monday night's field hockey senior night. And the production team in the trailer is Taylor Brennan. And of course, I mentioned that Mr. Kazuba, who's the voice of the Rams, is also the teacher of the sports broadcasting in 3 modern media sections.
I was just saying before you got up here that I thought Southern is deserving of this 2-1 halftime lead.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I think one of the most significant things we should point out, again, it's been said before, but they were getting outplayed. Not out-hustled, but outplayed for, I'd say, a good 5 to 10 minutes of that second period when it was knotted at 1. And it could have easily gone 2-1 the other direction. Marin made some great saves. The defensive core was disruptive in a few opportunities that were developing, and then they came right down, and from being outplayed, they scored. Oh, it's good to see Ashley Altman's on the field again.
All right.
Good for her, Ashley.
There's Gianna. Nice defensive play.
Now 20. Oh no, here's 20. So there must have been, again, the eyes. I thought 20 was back on defense.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that individual? Is she a senior? Is she looking to continue?
I know in a tournament over the summer she had guest played on Riley's club team, so I assume she's probably a junior.
So the club teams are age specific by
birth year.
All the same birth year? Does it have, in some sports you have a 2-year cohort?
You could be younger. You can play up, but you can't be older. So 2004 is the year I'm talking about.
Okay, we have Altman and Lockwood pressure.
Ball.
Nice ball. Who was that in the middle? Was that Gianna? Gallagher putting pressure to keep it in. See, Costado's back in the game. She got a little bit of a blow in the latter stages of the first period, but she's back in. Isn't that a push?
I would say. Yeah. They got another one right.
They got 2 right tonight. Oh, we crack ourselves up. I'm the funniest thing out there. Just listen. I'll tell you what's hard to do, Bob, and we haven't had that emotional moment in this game yet, but sometimes it's hard to fight back the comments that you want to.
I probably have had it already. No, I hear you, though. You get into it.
Right? Yeah, you get into it. That's where I said to it last year with Lewis, we were calling the that state level game, and I was having a hard time remembering that I was on the air because I wanted to be a spectator in the stands, especially when there's clock issues and there was some questionable calls.
Sure.
But we do the best we can. Oh, what a great save by Marin! Isn't it?
That was an awesome save.
That was an awesome save. Now, wasn't the aftermath of that offsides? Because the player stayed down low when the ball came out.
It got to be in the play, I think, to be offside. So I don't know if how much she affected the play. Hard to see.
Maybe you should pay attention more.
I got some panels in the front of my face.
I saw you messing around with your headset, so I just thought you were distracted by your earbuds.
I'm the sub, so I can make mistakes.
This is how they scored before off of this same play, and this time Marin is equal. Boy, that was 2 pressure situations for the sophomore.
She's really done a nice job. And the fact that she's only a sophomore is encouraging.
Well, like I said, in the first period, the first half, this is, the future's bright for this program, but we got to make sure that the future becomes now. Nice job by Shoka. Now, clearly in this early minutes of the second half, Brooke Memorial has dominated possession. Do you see something different they're doing, or is it just the effort and the attitude?
To me, it's effort. I think they came out ready to play.
But I don't see any panic
No.
We've been in good position.
No, and I think it goes back to what happened early on in the first half. Stay calm, stay patient, look to counter.
There's Marin comes out.
Looks like they called an offsides on that one.
I think I've seen a couple that haven't been called, but I think in that scoring opportunity down there was clearly an offside. When Marin cleared the ball, the other player stayed in the box.
There we go again.
Nice play by Cassidy. Lockwood's now challenging 20. Be a throw-in Memorial. Good pressure, defensive pressure, and a steal. Is that Simon?
Yep. Nice play, Melanie. Or Hallie, I mean.
Hallie up to the middle, up the edge, now goes to the middle. Looks like she's going to put it on. Oh, not a sweet play. Oh, that goalie read that, took a chance. My goodness.
Nice play by Hallie, though.
Yeah,
nice
great play. Up a little deacon. Wow.
So close.
Kudos to the goalie. Came out and played that well.
Nice
but
save.
by coming out, she gave all kinds of net access.
Taking a chance as a goalie, but obviously right decision.
Yeah, right decision. I said in the men's broadcast 2 nights ago, the person I would not want to be on one of these two teams is the goalie or the goalie's parents.
Which is harder? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, boy, oh boy. Because things break down. Like on that play, that was Haley, correct? There was 3 breakdowns that happened before.
That caused the one-on-one.
That allowed Haley to have the one-on-one. But the only thing that gets remembered is the goal and the goalie and the goalie's play.
So true. It's a good ball.
Yeah, that's how they scored the first time.
Should be another corner.
I mean, that's how Brick Memorial scored. I get confused the first few minutes when they switch sides.
I didn't want to say it, but
you didn't have to. I caught myself. Once again, I think that's a function of the age on the date on the birth certificate.
I didn't say anything.
You don't have to.
It's a good serve.
I really have been picked up in the last 2 seasons how adept Brickell Klein is at coming in the back door, playing behind the play.
Yeah, smart player.
And then subtly breaking in when the ball's down low.
Yep.
There was an example of her doing that twice.
Was that same?
Shoka wins that foot race. Shoka battles.
Well, looks like we've settled in after being outplayed the first 5.
Now, is that in this sport that you know much better than I do? Is that ever a strategy? Rope or dope? Let them have the ball. Just box up your defense. Be patient now, and then after a point in time, now let's go.
Yeah, I think especially if you're playing a more skilled team, where you want to be patient and look to counter.
Because the rate at which that's happened, I'm almost wondering if that's what Coach Harkoff has said. Let's just box it up, play patient defense.
Right, and maybe she has.
Let them get frustrated. Now let you ready. Let's go. On the go call. Let's go. That's the one of the beauties of this sport. It's improvisational. It's reading. It's read and react, and there's no
a lot of movement without the ball.
Yeah.
Right, move into open space.
Open
make
space.
Yourself available.
Yep.
Ashley. Nice ball.
Oh, nice pass. Ashley's outnumbered and still managed to get the ball out to Hallie or Gianna Simon. She pushes it to Hallie Hochstrasser. Hallie puts it on.
Very nice the way Gianna played Haley in space there. That was a pretty impressive pass.
And you can see from listening to what the coach is saying, this is what you're seeing them do tonight, which is anticipating what their teammates are doing and breaking to the open space is occurring, and it wasn't occurring apparently in the earlier parts of the season.
More evident right now. I mean, you see that Gianna patient with the ball, waits for Haley to make a run, and it plays it where she's going to be, not where she's at, where she's going to be.
Right. And again, that's what they were working on yesterday. I don't know if the viewing audience can hear it, but the celebrated Golden Rams marching band is practicing tonight, so you can hear them off in the distance. That's another group that puts in countless hours to have the opportunity to compete. It's taking full advantage of this limited competition season. All right, we have a throw-in for Southern. Kind of a back and forth game at midfield.
There goes Gianna again. Nice defensive play.
Now Gianna's in an 05, so she's not playing in the same club circuit as the 04s.
She's an 05, yeah. Just like Jenna and some of the other ones.
So hockey lets them play a 2-year cohort, so you can develop some intergrade chemistry at the club level, because they don't specify it to just one birth year. It's a 2 birth year.
I got you.
Unfortunately, every other year, then you're leaving a cohort and going on to a new cohort. So there's consistency issues there, but I guess each sport is a little different based on the needs and the leadership.
Right.
That was a nice. Cassidy tried to get it up the wall to who was that?
Haley
Hochstrasser, yeah. Nice, and Marin's equal. Nice punt up to midfield.
Yeah, we talked about it before, about how Leah is definitely settling in here and doing a nice job. Each game better and better and better. Ooh.
Look at her come out. Great. Well, I tell you,
yeah,
she moves like a cat and reads. That kind of reminds me of that goalie in roller hockey, Cam.
Oh, yeah, Cam.
Yeah.
Very good goalie. Quick.
Reads the play like a cat, comes out when he needs to, constantly chirping to his defensive players to let them know where the pressure's coming from.
Yeah, it's a good goalie.
Still have that band?
He hasn't played in a while, believe it or not.
Oh.
So I don't know what he's driving, but we do miss him. Still 2-1.
Yep, 2-1. Southern maintaining. 25 minutes exhausted thus far. They're give or take. We have the unofficial. The voice of the Rams is the unofficial clock. There, the real time. The real time is down on the field. That should be a handball, no?
Look like it.
Well, there we get. Nonetheless, we get the ball.
Is that 25 or 25 left?
So Altman comes out again. What a warrior she is.
Yeah, give her credit. Right?
Yeah, give her credit. I know she wants to stay out there, but it's a long season, and we need. There's a little bit of limp in that step there.
Yeah, it's terrible. So in for her was Angie Prizer, number 14, I think.
Now entering the game for us now is number 14, Angie Prizer. She's a junior. And I believe she went in for Altman.
She did, yeah. Yep.
I think that isn't this her first minutes of this game?
I think you're right. And she's been playing well.
Yeah, I noticed her at practice yesterday. She's a look at this.
Nice play by Leah.
I'm impressed with Leah's willingness to come out and cut the play off.
That was a very nice play there.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a
smart,
but
aggressive.
You got if you're going to go, you're going to make the full commitment. Yeah. I've seen in previous seasons, not mentioning anybody, but I've seen that goalie come and go, but not commit and be burned by it.
It could go the other way very quickly.
Yeah. Nice little move there. Here comes Hochstrasser, beats one. We got Prizer backing her up. Gianna was coming. Memorial was equal and broke it up.
Here they come.
Here they come on their counter.
Oh, boy.
That was a nice job of Shoka filling for Cassidy, who got deked. Wasn't that Cassidy who got deked? And Shoka came in and closed and recovered for her. Nice job.
Probably 20 minutes left or so there in the game.
That's big when your teammate picks you up like that, because you could be feeling the weight of the game on your shoulders. But
and that's where, again, I think playing together, it's only going to get better. We're the four of them in the back covering for each other when things like that happen.
And you saw that in the first period where Shayla, nice save. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we got to mark up a little better on that corner kick.
I think we got to win balls in the air. I
Yeah.
think that's part of the problem right now. We're not winning them.
But it was Shoka covering for Cassidy, just like Cassidy covered for Shoka in the first period. That's good defensive.
They're working together.
Yep. Boy, it'd be huge if 2-1 holds up. It'd be even better if 3-1.
A goal would be nice. Four games into the season, I mean, every game has gotten better, honestly, whatever happens here in the outcome.
So what do you do here, Bob? Do you coach to preserve a 2-1 win? Do you protect the lead? Do you put the throttle down and try to go pedal to the metal and score another one?
It's a tough call, right? Because sometimes you protect too much, and then you become a little complacent, right? So I don't know.
Lewis would have known.
Well, that's why I'm filling. Can you text him and see what he would do?
Lewis would have known the answer to that. That's all I can say.
No. I'm sure he would have. Under 20. Under 20 left.
Yeah, no, that's a universal question. Of course, we were goofing around about it, but
it's a tough call.
I've always been a proponent to, in my experience, when you play to protect a lead, you sometimes lose game rhythm, and then you can't put the throttle back on again as quickly. But there's so many variables that come into play that there's no one universal answer to that question.
Exactly.
It really comes to situational.
And still with 20 minutes left, there's plenty of time.
I mean, just situational based on right now. Altman's on the bench, so that's got to change the dynamics.
Yep.
And that's not to say Prizer isn't up to the task. He obviously is, but it's different.
Yep. Wow. It really was. Nice move.
A bunch of nice moves, but the good thing is the ball's still.
Leah winning the ball in the air again.
Yeah, Leah won the ball in the air, but the nice moves didn't result in panic on the defense.
Yeah, they're containing pretty well.
Yep.
Nice step by Brickell. It's getting interesting.
Yeah, sure is. And you know you're full of hope and anticipation for the girls, who so well deserved it, but you can't assume it.
No,
It's got to be earned. They got to finish.
it's Haley. Nice play.
You got Prizer. Well, that reminds me of Carrigan Bulger's speed there. Oh, look at this. Oh, what a play.
Nice shot.
What an athletic 30 seconds that was.
Yeah, Haley's a very, very quick player.
Speed, control, and then the poise to put that shot on.
Well,
And that's in if she's got the right attitude. Nice play by Simon. She puts one on. All right, little. The field's tilting.
Well, about 15 left right now.
Be nice to spend a few minutes in the offensive zone.
Sure would be.
For no other reason than to burn some clock and minimize their scoring opportunities, because they're there's Shoka closing. She wins that foot race. And there's her line mate, Cassidy, covering her up, right?
Yep, or Sarah Boyd, actually.
Oh, that was Sarah? Okay. I knew that. Just see it if you were paying attention.
Testing it.
There's
Lewis, is it Lewis? He would have known?
Lewis would have known. What was the old commercial, Bo Nose? Right? Bo Nose, Lewis would have known.
Should be a foul.
Yeah. And nicely played.
Jenna. Very good defensive play by Jenna.
Yep. Well, to me, this is a key point, the defensive.
Yeah. We got to get
defensive
the ball out.
perspective. Get the ball out.
Called it on them, I think. Another good call.
Yeah, finally got theirs. They missed a few, but they got that one right.
Take it down.
That's their
Third good call.
So we do have a statistician up here. Mr. Kazuba is John Kazuba, the voice of the Rams, is also counting the officials' accurate calls.
That's a fourth foul right there, right?
Yeah, that's a foul. Did they get it? So they got 3 right so far.
I think 4, right? Yes, 4.
Okay, 4 right. What's that unofficial clock look like, Mr. Kazuba?
Under 14 left. I know.
Nice job by Gallagher,
Still a lot
denying
of time.
20 access to the ball. The physicality of this game's picking up. Is that a result of a little frustration on Memorial's behalf?
I think so.
But I'm seeing a little bit more contact.
Getting a little more desperate.
Yeah. Nice job by Gallagher.
So we're up to 5.
5 correct calls. I tell you, Abby Gallagher's playing that sneaky, quiet,
Yeah.
but
Important.
very important role.
Yeah.
And
It's a tough position sometimes when you're a marking back on the outside. You're almost on an island.
yeah, you're on an island, right? what a good kid she is. What a great
Yeah.
family that is.
Great
But I'll tell you what,
personality.
the Gallaghers have done right by Southern, by the athletes and the students that they sent. Her
Yeah.
twin brother Mitch is a officer of the junior class. Actually, I don't know if he is this year, but I know he's been the past couple of
Yeah,
years.
I don't
And
know.
brother Hank is a linebacker and multi-talented. He's the kicker, the punter on the football team. So it's a thank you, Gallaghers.
Yeah, and Abby, just knowing her, just from being around the team, such an awesome, positive kid.
What a great kid. You know,
great personality.
eye contact in the hall, hello in the hall.
awesome.
Just look forward to they're just intersections anymore, and now they're 6-foot intersections.
Yeah.
But
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Honor to serve these students because they're such great people.
Yeah.
It's still locked. It's still 2-1. Southern knocking on the door of a payday. Altman on the sideline, maybe going to re-enter.
Looks like it, right? You could use it.
Again, not to belabor the point, but you got to give her credit for being able to compete tonight. That's one of the most debilitating and painful injuries that an athlete can experience. Everything happens on the feet in this game, and for her to fight through it, what a remarkable young woman.
Yeah, her playing any minutes is
Any
impressive.
minutes, yeah. And quite frankly, I was expecting to hear that she wasn't going to be cleared to play. So that's why I had to go to do a pregame interview with her just to kind of help her get through the process of being scratched. But the fact that she's out there now, standing on the sideline, and having played minutes and looking like maybe going to re-enter is huge.
Huge for her and big boost for the rest of the
What
team.
is that? What does that message send to the rest of the team?
How important it is.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, that goes back to the leadership that her and Brickell are providing.
No doubt.
Lead through example, through actions.
Nice play by Melanie.
Somebody on the sideline barking, there's only 10 left. You got to get one. That was a Memorial fan. So
they
if
know.
that's
Hey, we are at 10.
we're at the 10-minute mark. Says, oh, nice play, Shoka.
Nice.
Nice job, Riley. And I can see frustration mounting on behalf of number 20. A lot of animated gestures, a little conversation with the official right now. And I personally think it's when some of the better players get frustrated, that's team advantage.
Yeah.
Home team advantage, I mean.
I agree.
And I'm not taking anything away from that athlete. She's clearly a gifted athlete and a competitor. So it's in her wheelhouse to be frustrated, but you got to channel that frustration and not let it become a hindrance to your performance. All right, Leah.
Well, now we're down to crunch time.
Yeah, now we're down to crunch time, right? Couldn't be put said better. And
2-1 lead.
come on, girls.
Take that.
And Altman's in. We'll high five the prizer. Good.
Angie played well, and it
Yeah.
looks like Abby's coming out too, I think. Looks like sliding Melanie to marking back, I guess.
So Cordasco's back in. She had a real strong performance in the
played well
first
when she
half.
was in,
Played
yeah.
very, very well. And she's another career committed athlete.
No
who
doubt, yeah.
Got a
It's
very
good to have
good
her
hockey.
back,
I mean a
So-
very good soccer IQ. Yeah, you're right. Good to have her back. Well, they were coming with pressure, but we were manned up.
Covering
marked up.
very well.
Everybody was covered. Nice
play.
Cassidy breaks it up. There
Very
was
nice play
there
by
was a
Shea.
threat there. That
There goes Brickell. Playing in space to Haley. So
now I haven't seen that as much from Brickell. Well, I've only seen this game actually, so I'm referring to last year. She would come like a banshee up the edge.
Yep.
Just come out of nowhere and just put the
So quick.
put the play on her back and,
Yeah.
and take it downfield and finish her cross.
very nice.
I tell you, I'm counting every Southern touch at this point is one touch closer to a win.
So close.
Whether it's a scoring opportunity or not, if we're touching the ball, we're that much closer
Yep.
to W1.
Nice play by Jenna Castaldo there. Probably close to 5 left. .630 left, actually, my mistake.
Well, that's better than 10.
I'll take it.
There's Costado again. Shoka wins that foot race. And that'll be a
Yeah,
goal kick.
good runs.
I'll tell you what stands out watching this one. The only game I've seen of this team this season is Riley's speed and commitment to getting back and maintaining that backstop position.
I think Abby's not in there now, Melanie's on the outside, but I think all 4 of those guys in the back have speed, and I think that's what's helping against, some of the quicker teams, where they're not getting beat that way typically. It's going to happen every once in a while, but, Sarah Boyd's very quick, Shea's very quick, Abby is too, and Melanie too when she's playing there. I think now you start to look to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
There's no rush now for anything. I mean, that's Brickell right there with a beautiful defensive play.
That's
Broke it up.
nice move, Cardasco.
Corner.
She's recovering from a couple injuries, I believe. Oh, here's Hochstrasser.
Winning a corner here is big. Probably, again, I think you take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the hurry?
Yeah, in terms of Gracie Cardasco, I know it was a hip injury, right? And I don't know if it was a sports hernia or there was some stuff going on that were pretty significant injuries that set her back quite a bit. But having her back and coming into the mix here has really helped them a lot too.
Oh! Yeah, and you would never know. I mean, I know she missed a big part of even the wrestling season last year because of injury, but seeing the performance that she's put forth tonight,
she's a good player.
They would never know. And again, another testament to our athletes' dedication and Nick Scaramuza's ability to get them back and rehabilitated and back
And speaking of her right there, she won a foul, just by working hard and using her body to shield the ball.
Yep. We'll get one here, girls.
Oh, boy. About 3 minutes left.
Not that it's going to have any outcome in the game, but one of their fans is very frustrated right now. And hopefully the TV sound isn't picking up what he's saying.
Well, here's Haley. Touch it. Ooh.
Oh, golly. Come on, Ashley. Boy, that was a great opportunity. They're, tip the hat to the goalie.
Yeah. Well, you talked about, the goalie. I mean, the goalie made an aggressive play again. We talked about that early on in the second half. I mean, she saved the goal by being aggressive there. And, Leah was the one that did it earlier on.
Yep. Cordasco. Oh, there's no whistle on that. Am I seeing it wrong?
No, I see it the same way you do.
Okay. Well, I guess, baby, let's go, girls.
But we're probably under 2 minutes here. I think we got to.
Yeah, let's focus on what's important. Don't focus on what we can't control. Just Brickell.
No, it's Gianna.
Gianna. Brickell's walking down the wall.
Nice ball.
Altman into the middle.
Approximately 1:40 left. That's all right, offsides.
Come on, girls.
Win the ball. Nice job. Come on, Melanie. That's a foul.
There's a foul there. Yeah, okay.
Don't take your time.
I'm becoming way too much of a spectator, not a comment. Sorry about that in the viewing audience. I can't control my emotions right now. I'm so hopeful for these well-deserved Lady Rams to finish this and get their first victory.
Nice play by Jenna Castaldo, winning the ball, playing in the corner. I think we're winding down here.
Nice play by Cordasco.
That should do it, huh?
What do we got on time?
Unofficially under 10 seconds.
All right, it means nothing that the timer here went off. Our unofficial time is indicating, but it doesn't matter. The game is still being played.
Yeah, there's some injury time, I guess, for...
They had that back on?
Yep. Maybe a minute or two.
Come on, girls, get there, get there. My boy Shay. Come on, Ashley. Good play, Ash.
Using the body.
All right, sports fans. The girls have done it on senior night. Victory 1. Altman hugging. Oh, my goodness, what a well-deserved win for these girls. Long overdue. Mr. Shoka, I'm going to hand the broadcast off to you while I go down to interview captains.
Also, tomorrow night, the Southern Regional Football Rams travel to Brick Memorial. Game time 7 p.m. at Brick Memorial tomorrow evening.
Well, to wrap it up,
hey, how are you, bud? Good to see you.
He's going down to do some interviews, but did want to say what a win for our Southern Regional Girls Soccer Rams. A 2-1 victory to bring their record to 1-3. Big win. 2 big goals, one by Brickell Klein and the other by Haley Hochstrasser. But what a team performance. Everyone on the field. Leah Marin, unbelievable in net, and again the total team performance. So I'm going to turn it down to Mr. Henry, who's going to do some interviews with our 2 seniors. I'm done.
All right, so we're here with the senior captains, both of whom were recognized tonight on senior night, both of whom had to do the heavy lift of shouldering the beginning of this team that didn't start out the way that they were hoping for, but what a well-deserving turnaround on senior night. Getting emotional. You score a goal, you come back from an injury. How's your foot?
It hurts, I'm not going to lie. But I was so glad to get out there today. I missed it, and I'm so glad we came away with the win.
Yeah, and we were talking all night long about you. I couldn't see a limp. I couldn't see any, hitch in your giddy up. I knew it had to hurt, but you didn't know it. We couldn't see that it was hurting. So what a warrior you are. And what an example of leadership to the underclassmen that under these kind of injuries that you're out here performing in Brickell, you score a goal.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like.
It was awesome. It was really good to come back because we were down 1, so it was really good to tie it back up.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you what, nothing more deserving than this. And we talked yesterday when I interviewed you, and thank you for letting me do that interview. That there was no way that 0-3 was indicative of this team. And this was not how you were going to finish the season. This was just a speed bump you're going to get over. And now you've gotten that first win.
Yes.
So what's on the horizon? Who do we have next? And what's your expectations for the middle part of the season?
I think, we're only going to get better. Every game I see it on the field. I mean, today I think we really played as a team, and that's how we got this win. And that's all I see in the future. It's playing as a team and getting better each and every game.
Well, and they're cheering, and you don't get to be part of it. I'm sorry about that, but the viewing audience needs you here because that wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for your leadership, and I mean that. You've had the daunting task of, and they love her too. You've had the daunting task of taking this seasoned team and with no real preparation, putting them into a team chemistry that you've put them in, that you've led them to. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
So thank you. Get over there with your teammates. I'm going to hand it back up to you, Mr. Shoka. Thank you for the great interview. Thank you.
All right, well, to close out our night here, a big win again by Southern Regional, 2-1 over Brick Memorial, again bringing their record to 1-3, and a great night for our 2 seniors, Brooke Klein as well as Ashley Altman. So again, thank you again, and we will see you soon. Thanks.